Okay, so you're trying to figure out your career in a world that is, let's be honest, completely obsessed with AI. You're in the right place. There's a ton of hype, a ton of noise, right? So let's cut through all of that and figure out what an AI career actually looks like today. First things first, let's just set the stage a little. According to the World Economic Forum, by 2030, a whopping 39% of workers' core skills are expected to change. Think about that. That's nearly 2 out of every 5 people needing a fundamental update to how they make a living. And this massive shift, well, it's not happening in a vacuum. It's being powered by one technology above all others: artificial intelligence. You know, AI is quickly moving from being this niche, specialized skill to becoming part of the basic plumbing of business, kind of like how the internet did a generation ago. Which brings us to the big question, right? When we say AI career, what are we actually talking about? Is this a world just for PhDs and hardcore coders? Or is there a place for the rest of us? Let's find out. All right, first up, let's just try to get our heads around the sheer scale of this new job market. Because AI isn't just creating a couple of new roles here and there, it's literally building an entirely new economy from the ground up. And if you want some numbers, just look at the UK. The tech sector there is already worth an insane £1.2 trillion. And what's fueling all that growth? You guessed it, AI. It's now pulling in nearly 20% of all venture capital funding. That tells you exactly where the smart money thinks the future is heading. And look at how diverse the jobs are. This isn't just about AI engineers buried in code building models. We're seeing this huge demand for cybersecurity analysts who protect AI systems, for AI product managers who guide the strategy, and even for AI ethics specialists, whose whole job is to make sure this tech is used fairly. There are so many different paths opening up. And these jobs, they're not just interesting, they are seriously valuable. In the UK, an AI and machine learning engineer can easily pull in between £80,000 and £130,000, and honestly, often way more. And why? It's simple supply and demand. The demand for this kind of talent is just exploding, and the supply of people who can do it can't keep up. So we get it. The opportunity is massive. But here's where it gets really interesting. It's how the nature of these jobs is changing. Those old rigid job titles we're used to, they're starting to melt away. So this is the key idea to grasp. It's called the AI roles continuum. Basically, instead of thinking of jobs like research scientist or ML engineer as being in these separate, neat little boxes, we need to see them as points along a spectrum. The old walls between doing pure research and doing hands-on engineering, they're just dissolving. And hey, don't just take my word for it. Look at this quote from Anthropic, one of the top AI labs on the planet. They flat out say the boundary has dissolved because to build today's huge AI models, everybody needs to be a bit of a researcher and a bit of an engineer. Now this slide right here, this shows us why those roles are blending together. This heat map shows how different AI jobs all rely on the same shared foundation of skills. So whether you call yourself a research scientist or an ML engineer, you still have to know stuff like distributed training and how to design experiments. The jobs are overlapping because the actual skills you need are overlapping. So if those old lines are blurring, what's taking their place? Well, we're seeing the rise of what you might call the hybrid professional. People who can blend totally different skill sets. And let's look at one of the coolest and most important examples, the conscience of the algorithm. I mean, what a great phrase, right? It perfectly captures this new role, the AI ethics officer. Think about it. As AI makes more and more critical decisions about our lives, everything from who gets a loan to what medical diagnosis you receive, someone needs to be in charge of its moral compass. And this is not some vague, hand-wavy job. Look at the actual responsibilities. These people are in the trenches, running bias audits on the models, making sure data privacy is protected, demanding that a model can explain why it made a decision, and even leading the cleanup when an AI system messes up. This is the perfect example of that hybrid professional we were talking about. To be a great AI ethicist, you have to understand the tech, you have to understand the law, and you have to understand the philosophy. It is literally a blend of regulation, code, and conscience, a job that pretty much didn't exist a decade ago. Okay, so we've seen the new landscape, we've seen these new hybrid roles popping up. Now for the most important part. How do you find your place in all of this? Let's start with this piece of advice from AI expert Aishwarya Srinivasan, because it's perfect. The goal here isn't to just drop everything you're doing and try to become an AI coder overnight.
The real goal is to figure out how your unique strengths and skills fit into a world where AI is just everywhere, a standard tool, like a spreadsheet. So to help you figure that out, here is a really simple but super powerful first question to ask yourself. Just sit with this one for a second. Do you want to be an AI builder, someone who actually creates the core technology? Or do you want to be AI adjacent, someone who uses that technology to solve problems?
Let's break that down real quick. The builders, they go deep. They're the ones training, fine-tuning, and debugging the models. It takes months, even years, of really focused technical learning. The AI-adjacent folks, on the other hand, they focus on application. They use AI systems and APIs to make whatever they're already doing faster, smarter, better. It's more about developing AI literacy than deep coding skills. And let me be clear, both of these paths are incredibly important and valuable.
So here's a simple 3-step framework you can use right now. Step 1, look at your job and list out all the repetitive, boring tasks. That's probably what AI is going to automate. Step 2, identify the stuff that requires human judgment, creativity, and context. That's where your value is going to skyrocket. And then finally, step 3, based on that, you decide, are you more excited about working on AI or working with AI? And to wrap this all up, I want to leave you with one last big question to really think about. If, starting tomorrow, an AI could magically automate half of all your work tasks, what would be left for you to do? And more importantly, does that thought excite you or does it kind of terrify you? Your answer to that question will tell you everything you need to know about where you're headed in this new world of AI.